So we look outward. Before we're looking inward, now we look outward, right? Emotional intelligence, as I've said from the beginning, is both tuning into our feelings and tuning into the feelings of those around us, right? Empathy is being able to step into somebody else's reality, is being able to see from another person's perspective, so that we understand, we try to understand where those feelings come from, right? Nobody in life, somebody said, will listen to us until they feel that we have listened to them. You know, we are all, by the grace of Allah, doing dawah in whatever way we can. Whatever way we can. You go to a masjid or outside a masjid, and a young brother comes, that's it, to an elder brother, asking for nasiha. And the elder brother won't even look at him because he's too busy looking at his iPhone or whatever smartphone. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when somebody would talk to him, he would turn around to face that person, and his whole attention was focused on whoever was talking to him, so that he would understand completely the feelings of that person, the information that person was trying to convey to him, and he would give him the right advice. Okay? So, it's very interesting that when you and I meet somebody, we tend to form, the research shows, we tend to form an opinion of that person, whether we like them or don't like them, whether one day we would like to get married to this brother or sister, whether we're going to join the Muslim organization that person is part of. You know, in how much time? 5 seconds. Five seconds. And in 5 seconds, that's your limbic system responding. The neocortex, your rational brain, hasn't had time to be part of this decision, to get involved. You know, it is said that trust lives in the heart, not the head. So we need, when we talk about empathy, right, we need to work with both types of brain, right? We need to display sensitivity and concern. This is why, again, we go to example of Umar radiallahu anh, leader of the Muslims. He's wearing a thawb with 13 holes in it, patched up. He didn't dress in those wealthy clothing. We see some of the leaders of Muslim countries, you know, they have their own jets, they have yachts, they have palaces in every city. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, right? Right. They decided that Jannah is on earth. Omar used to sleep on the steps of buildings with the poor people so that he would feel what they felt. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, I eat like a servant and I sit like a servant. Right? He didn't live in a palace, right? So when we talk about empathy, it's the ability to understand the emotional makeup of other people, the skill in treating people according to their emotional reactions. And somehow, Mark, basically, when you do it properly, right? When you do it properly, then you're able to retain and people, not just skilled people, but people in general, right? You show cross-cultural sensitivity. You know, we are like the United Nations in most masajid, and that's wonderful. Li ta'arafu, right? Says the Quran. And we provide better service to the Muslims in our country. There is, to show you how much empathy our blessed Prophet has, we have to make a difference between empathy and tough empathy. All right? So, being empathetic doesn't mean you adopt other people's emotions as your own and you try to be like, you know, tomato in every soup. You try to please everybody. No. Look at the hadith I cited last week and the week before. When Abu Zar goes to the Prophet, the hadith reported by Abu Zar himself in Sahih Muslim, and says, "O Prophet of Allah, will you not appoint me to a position of authority?" Our blessed and beloved Prophet, first what he does, he wants to make sure Abu Zar's feelings are not hurt. Because Abu Zar is a new Muslim. What does Abu Zar say the Prophet did? He said, he stroked my shoulder. And then he said, Abu Zar, you are weak and authority is a trust. And we don't just give it to anybody who asks for it. Tough empathy, right? That in a sense, you give people what they need, not what they want. Again, look at Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When he used to walk, we know, because people have described the way he walked, he would walk very fast, very energetically, as though he was going downhill. If somebody was, shall we say, more physically challenged, couldn't keep up with him, he would slow down so they would be able to match his speed. In a hadith reported by Anas radiallahu anhu, in both Sahih Muslim and Sahih Bukhari, he says, our blessed and beloved Prophet says, verily, I might begin the prayer and intend to prolong it, but then I hear the crying of an infant. I will shorten the prayer, as I know his crying will distress his mother. His crying, that baby's crying, will distress his mother. That is empathy. That's why we love this prophet. That's why to the day of judgment, the ummah will love this prophet. Empathy, right? That leader, and that's what we have to do if we are in charge of Muslim organizations. We have to show empathy, right? That we're able to attune to a wide range of emotional signals, letting the people we're responsible for sense the felt, you know, basically we sense, they sense us and we sense them. And it enables us to get along, especially in Muslim communities that are so diverse, to get along with people of diverse backgrounds or from other cultures. So, and you know this ayat from the Quran, this was revealed after the Battle of Uhud, where Allah is talking to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because remember, as a result of Shura, first they said, let's go outside, and they changed their mind, and he said, no, once the Prophet has put on his armor, that's it. And then the archers abandoned their position. And Allah is ordering Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, فَبِمَا رَحْمَةٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ لِنْتَ لَهُمْ وَلَوْ كُنْتَ فَظًّا غَلِيظَ الْقَلْبِ لَانْفَضُّوا مِنْ حَوْلِكَ فَاعْفُ عَنْهُمْ وَاسْتَغْفِرْ لَهُمْ وَشَاوِرْهُمْ فِي الْأَمْرِ فَإِذَا غَزَمْتَ فَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ الْمُتَوَكِّلِينَ. Surah Al-Imran, Surah 3, verse 159. Read it. It is part of the mercy of Allah that you, Muhammad, deal gently with them. After this near debacle of Uhud, were you severe, harsh-hearted, unregulated emotions? They would have broken, the companions of the Prophet ﷺ would have broken away from you. So pass over their faults. Be empathetic and ask for Allah's forgiveness for them. And then Allah reinforces the importance of shura and consult them in affairs of the moment. And then when you have taken the decision, the concept of tawakkul, put your trust in Allah, for Allah loves those who put their trust in Him. And you know this other ayat, again in Surah Al-Imran, Surah verse 144. This is the ayah that, I'm not going to read all of it because I'm looking at time right now, that Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu recited when Omar was, going very emotionally distressed. Abu Bakr calmed everybody down. He was self-regulated. Right? وَمَا مُحَمَّدٌ إِلَّا رَسُولٌ قَدْ خَلَتْ مِنْ قَبْلِهِ الرُّسُلُ. Right? Muhammad is only a messenger before whom many messengers have been and gone. So we have a couple of hadith I have for you. One is the Prophet ﷺ said, Allah will not be merciful to those who are not merciful to people. In Sahih Bukhari, again, our blessed and beloved Prophet ﷺ said, none of you truly believes until he wishes for his brother what he wishes for himself. This is both in Bukhari and Muslim. So how to develop empathy? Empathy means being able to see from another person's perspective so you can respond properly to their needs, to pay attention to the emotional signals from another person or group. Aisha radiallahu anha, when she used to get upset with our blessed and beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, she used to use the term, instead of saying the Lord of Muhammad, she would say the Lord of Ibrahim. And right away, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam knew that she was upset. Developing empathy, right? Hafsa radiallahu anha. One day, Umar walked into the house of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and she was thumping the chest. She was so angry with Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She was thumping his chest. And Omar, he's like a one solution person. He grabbed his sword to put an end to that situation. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, no, let her be. If our spouse did that to us, my God, forget it, right? Pay attention to the emotional signals from another person or group, right? Real leaders empathize freely, fiercely with the people they lead. They understand. When the Muslims were being starved, you know the story. They were being boycotted in Mecca. And somebody went to Prophet ﷺ and lifted his shirt and showed him one stone tied around his tummy to reduce the hunger. Muhammad ﷺ lifted his shirt with 2 stones tied around his tummy. Whatever his companions were going through, he was going through, putting it worse on himself. He gave away so much, never kept anything for himself. And we have so many hadith, and you know them, so I'm just saying, empathy is usually if you show empathy, then when you are having difficulty, others will show empathy.